I have your attention, please. The show starts in 10, 9.
Yo.
Like that technical difficulty. Was it even working?
Yeah, it was working. It went 5-4 and then went.
Oh, on my end, I guess I was having the technical issues. That was but what's good, y'all? Welcome back to Views from the East. It's your boy Potter. Ain't no one hotter. I'm reporting live from the streets. Got the bachata in the background. You feel me?
Reporting live from the streets. Damn,
King Ammo's back in the building.
Yeah, word. Damn, man, been a minute. You know what I'm saying? I felt left out and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, as long as you was watching and you was vibing.
Yeah, I was definitely watching, man. Which was like, I was like, damn, man. I wanted to be in a lot of the conversation, man. I wanted to be in a lot of the conversation. And I was like, oh man, look at this, man. Yo, some good points coming out. Yo, man, I want to say something, man. I want to say something.
Well, it's actually a good time to be back because we're actually going to touch up on the the mass that just happened in Texas at Robb Elementary. Which again, our sincerest condolences, and let's take a quick moment of silence for those, because again, the thing that I hate about this is that the numbers keep getting updated. Like it gets higher and higher. So I think now it's 19 children. 2 adults or 3 adults. So
2 adults. 2 adults.
2 adults.
Yeah, because the grandma didn't. Yeah, the grandma didn't die. He just shot her. I guess she survived a bullet. He wanted to kill his grandma, but I guess you didn't do that, right?
It's the worst thing to deal with a bitch ass nigga riding on your fucking bike. Worst fucking.
Yeah, I'm reporting live from the streets.
Yo, he want to vent too. What's wrong with him? What's going on with him?
I have no idea. But
like his bitch, like his
chick left him, bro. He wants to vent too.
Yeah, he wants to vent right now. I'm finna vent, but not now. I'll say that for personal time. But look, I got 3 clips here, which I felt was very important because there's been so many updates since we last spoke about this. We have them basically asking the police chief and all these people questions on what took so long to act. Then we have another clip where one of the survivors, which was I don't know why I can't remember her name right now, but it's the little girl that and she's so smart.
The 13-year-old girl.
Yeah, the one
that came to the town hall meeting, and she made them look bad, bro. She did what she was supposed to do, bro. I'm proud of her, bro.
The smartness on her was crazy, especially in a situation like that. But let's get into the clips real quick, and then we'll chop it up.
Yep.
You just stay at the microphones, because otherwise the cameras. Thank you for doing this, and I do hope you stay here and take as many questions as possible. You say there were 19 officers gathered in the hallway or somewhere. What efforts were made to try and break through that door? You say it was locked. What efforts were the officers making to try and break through either that door or another door to get inside that classroom?
None at that time. The on-scene commander at the time believed that it had transitioned from an active shooter to a barricaded subject.
You have people who are alive, children who are calling 911 saying, please send the police. They are alive in that classroom. There are lives that are at risk.
Hey,
that's not protocol, is it?
We're well aware of that.
Right, yeah. But why was this decision made not to go in and rescue these children?
Again, the on-scene commander considered a barricaded subject and that there was time and there were no more children at risk. Obviously, based upon the information we have, there were children in that classroom that were at risk, and it was, in fact, still an active shooter situation and not a barricaded subject.
So, sir, if I can follow up.
I love it though, man. Like straight up, like what's going on? Why? Like what was the issue? What was the hesitation? I'm loving that. What y'all feeling about that?
I feel that it was weird. Like they telling people still alive, they're still active shooting, he's still shooting, and you waiting. So basically, at the time you're waiting, what was the count? What was the body count? What were you waiting for the body count to be? Maybe the body count was a big, maybe, and the person that was in charge, they wanted a bigger body count. So I'm thinking because you have SWAT team, you have tactical teams, y'all are responding, you're just sitting there. Like, how you just sit there and just let the person kill these kids?
Listen,
You gotta take the blame too, because you were sitting there. You actually were sitting there. You were there. You never came in at the kids. This wasn't a mall. This wasn't a adult. These were children, bro. Come on, we gotta do better.
Yeah, listen. In their defense, right? You're inside the school and you're outside of a classroom, right? And it's locked and it's barricaded, and you're under the impression that there's no one inside the classroom because you don't hear no one. Like I still need to see the full. I still need to get the full picture because like I said, we're on the outside looking in, man. You know what I'm saying? In their defense, if 19, what was how many police officers were there at the time when he showed up?
At least 10 of different departments.
But they were inside the school already. They already had made it inside the school, right?
Yeah, they were just standing in front of the door, letting
They
him
were
kill
standing in front of the door. So
like he
now,
already killed the kids.
listen,
He's in there, and they're not doing nothing.
yeah, but see, here's the thing. Now, let's say there was kids inside the classroom that weren't killed, and they could negotiate at that point. Now, if they bust in through the door, you know what I'm saying, guns blazing, it's everybody in there. You know what I'm saying? So it's man, it's like I said, man. In their defense, bro, like if we on the outside looking in, man, you can't make the assumption like there's a better move. Everybody will say it's a better move because they're looking from the outside in. You know what I'm saying? You put half the people making these comments in that position. Guess what? They probably react the same way or even worse. They could have made it worse because now they run into that room and it's a bunch of officers dead too. You know what I'm saying? Like this ain't like these guys are not like firefighters. The house is on fire and they got to run in. You know what I'm saying? Police officers don't operate that way. You know what I'm saying? They're not
got a
gonna
point.
throw themselves. They're not gonna throw themselves at the mercy of an assailant. You know what I'm saying? Like firefighters do with fire. It don't work that way. And I think that's what people you know what I'm saying. Honestly, they're forgetting. You know. So,
Yeah.
but you know what I'm saying. My condolences to those parents. Yeah, I would be frustrated and angry too. You know what I'm saying? I would be frustrated and angry too. I would be doing whatever I could in my power to finagle some way to get my kid out of it. Listen, I'd have been the same way. I'd have been just like those parents, just as angry. You know what I'm saying? And it's Texas. We might have showed up with our own guns. You know
They
what I'm
probably
saying?
did too. Shit.
You know what I'm saying? We might have showed up with, yo, listen, you ain't doing nothing. Don't worry, we got it. We rolling in.
We
You know
going
what
in there.
I'm
They probably got
saying?
big guns. The cops do too.
You know what I'm saying? We rolling in. Don't worry, we got this. You know what I'm saying? Parents coming to get their kids. What you want to do? You know
Look,
what I'm saying?
I mean, honestly, not to cut you off. My apologies, brother, but I guess where this energy is really coming from, right? Because I've been doing a lot of reading, especially with the New York Times,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll have stuff like this. You know,
Yeah.
you got
That's what I'm coming. That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying because I see
you
this headlines, bro. This shit
now
resonates with me. Shit hurts, bro.
you also have Net. There's also feedback from the parents that were on the scene from the beginning of time, right? Because the parents, listen, it's a very small town. Some of the parents heard the gunshots from their home, and that's what made them go and check anyway. But the
Okay.
thing with the parents is that they're all there, right? All these parents
Mm-hmm.
are trying to get their kids. They're being told, listen, you can't go in there right now. We have a situation, right? You have a group of police officers holding back the parents, but then when they're looking at the building, they're looking at a ton of police surrounding the building. There's police in the building, and they're wondering why the police aren't acting.
Nothing. Yeah.
It was also reported that the police officers were out there for 40 minutes to an hour while he was still. So I do understand your perspective, Emma, where you say You know, we're not in their shoes. We don't know what we could have done better. We can say this is what we would have did. You know, all the movies everyone watches, and you always see the cops, the hero cops. They go in there, die hard. They don't care what's going on. They got to go and
Yep.
get the killer. And I understand that, but this is sort of their perspective because they're watching police stand out there for almost an hour while gunshots are going off. Once gunshots go off, all hands are off the table. There is no book. There's no rule guideline. You got to get in there now to save as many kids as you can. It's because kids are already being killed, you know. So that's where B's sentiment kind of comes in, and you know, listening to parents when they say that, and you know, and I'll share another image here. Like, you know, you see police officers.
That's what pisses me off right
building.
there. That's what pisses me off. So I'm saying, Ammo, look at this picture, bro. Look at what they see him. They see the bodies and not one tear gas. They could have thrown tear gas, thrown something.
Listen, but that's what I'm saying.
Come on,
but that's what I'm saying. Like from a tactical standpoint, right? Now, all right, I look in the classroom, I see that, and on top of that, you gotta think about it this way too. Yo, who took this picture and they framing it this way? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Who framing the picture like that?
I'm pretty sure someone from the news did. I'm pretty sure someone from the news did.
Nah, but look how they framing it, man. You don't know what the situation is right there. You know what I'm saying? They could have just got there and then making an assessment and then walking, you know what I'm saying, through the classroom to get an idea. I mean, to get an idea what the hell's going on right there. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what's going on right there, man. And that's why I tend to like wait in these situations and try not to let my emotions, you know what I'm saying, get the best of me. Because like I said, man, I understand parents' frustration 100%, bro. I understand their frustration 100%. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, when they start putting all the evidence and start gathering all the footage, if they have any cameras in the hallway and shit, then they really gonna understand what was going on. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, man, like, man, condolences to those parents, man. I know it's the worst nightmare. Worst nightmare. You know what I'm saying?
I can't even imagine it. I can't even imagine it, bro. I ain't got no kids yet, so I can't imagine it. But
and here's the other thing too. You know what I'm saying? All the media and the way that they're framing the story and doing a call to action and all that. You know what I'm saying? Like some of this news reporting is irresponsible. You know what I'm saying? You getting people riled up for, you know what I'm saying, for like there's no what's the word I'm looking at? It's not like it's not contextualized in the manner like where you got to make it for activism to be like potent and effective. It has to be structured and it has to be, you know, direct. You know what I'm saying? Getting people upset, you know what I'm saying, with no solution don't solve the problem. It don't solve the problem. You know what I'm saying? Oh, America is, you know, leading in school mass shootings, and I'm like, okay, but we don't have some of the problems other countries got. You know what I'm saying? You know, you got schools in Africa that get whole schools abducted. You know what I'm saying? And they don't have guns. You know what I'm saying? Some of those countries, some of those states, you know what I'm saying? Some of those states in Africa don't got guns, but the warlords do. They run up in the shit and take the, you know what I'm saying? Like there's what was the other country that they compared us to a lot of countries, and I'm like, yo, dude, you know what I'm saying? You never notice how they don't never compare us to Israel or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? I remember at one time when I was in high school, nothing but every week a bomb went off in a bus. You know what I'm saying? Violence is inherent in this world. You know what I'm saying? It's here. You know what I'm saying? You can't. I get it. Yeah, we need stricter gun laws. We need this, that, and the third. Okay, yeah. You know what I'm saying? But we also need a way to diffuse, you know what I'm saying, the tension and the hatred that's been festering for many years. You know what I'm saying? For many centuries and years here.
I remember. Not for to cut you off, bro. I remember growing up back in the day, bro. They used to say about I want to see world peace. Like, how come we don't talk about that no more, bro? Why is so much conflict doing that of world peace, bro?
Look, I'll say this, right? And, definitely the media
Yo,
has its
Jim,
way.
yo, product.
What's up?
I can hear your pops, bro.
You can hear this dude? Hey, yo, Pops.
I can hear him, bro.
Yeah.
Look, I'm tight. And now I'm about to be like, hey, man, I'm shooting a show. Um, But just real quick, the media definitely has its way to heighten any
Yeah.
type of situation, right? Um, I think what's really putting the fire under this, right, is because you see in that interview there where he's asking the questions,
Hmm.
he's really throwing the police in command, the officer in command of that
Hmm.
situation under the
Under the
bus,
bus.
right?
Yep.
He's like listen, like, at the time. And here's the thing too, they were giving him, the wrong information. They were saying, police rushed in there right away when they got there, and they did what they could to get in there. But then later he was told, like, actually they were there for like 45 minutes, based on, what the commander on the scene was saying, like, hey, this is no longer a shooter situation. It's the person is barricaded in, and we
Inside. Yeah.
and but mind you, while he's saying that, this guy's still letting off shots and still killing kids at this point. And so, obviously, when you have him sitting there, like, clearly that was the wrong call. He's sitting there literally saying that was the wrong call. That wasn't the right call to make. So, they're obviously making this guy.
The scapegoat.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it was his call, and it was his decision to, not have the police force rush in there because they were there for a long time. And the thing that makes it worse is because you have people that's on border patrol, officers, special, officers that are assigned over there,
Hmm.
drive 40 minutes out to get here. And
To
then
do
they're,
nothing.
but the thing is, no, they were actually the ones that went in there and handled business. Like,
Okay.
to the point where it was, they were like, hey, like, why are we still out here? Like, what are we doing?
Hmm.
And I guess one of them was like, listen, like, I'm not listening to this command, like we got to go in here and do something. And they bust the door open, and they were able to take them out immediately. And I don't believe any children were harmed in that scuffle. I think what it is from the parents' perspective, and I get it, I'm with you, Emma, like, you don't want to draw conclusions. It's easy to say, if it was me or what I would do. I would say the same thing. If I was there, my daughter's in there, give me a gun. I don't care about the tactical awareness. Kids are dying in there. I got to go in there and do what I got to do. And I understand the Rambo mentality of it.
Yep.
But obviously there are plans and everything that's put in place. I just think what it was cringing, and even for me as a parent, with Amel, you're also a parent. I think
Yeah.
if me and you were outside that school and we were watching police officers for 45 minutes, an hour, just around the school, just doing whatever they were doing, it's like, and you're still hearing bullets go off. 15 minutes in, 30 minutes going in, 45 minutes going in, you still hear the killer inside doing what he's doing. It would draw frustration. At that point, you don't care about a rule book. You don't care about what strategies they're trying to implement.
Hmm.
What people think is it's your job to go in there and put him down. It is your job to, because as we've seen, if the police really want to go in and act, they act. I
They
think
act.
we've
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think we've seen enough videos of different police departments, different states, when they want to get somebody and they want to act, they act.
They
Um,
move. Yeah.
they move. So,
There's no hesitation.
and listen, when you swear and you make that oath, you putting your life on the line is part of that. So, if a lot of the hesitation was like, well, I don't want to go in there because I don't want to die, like, what was it that really did all of this? And I actually have, and I just want to put his picture up one more time, but not even this one. The crazy thing is, the person that was in charge of this whole situation that told the cops not to rush in there. um and again, look at the headlines: police chief who delayed tactical response to shooting, because he had more than enough people there to really go inside and do what those cops came 45 minutes later to do. He could have did it, right? But again, we don't know. We're not there. Just on the outside looking in, it looks terrible on his behalf.
Yes. The
But
optics are terrible. Yeah. The
it's
optics
absolutely
are terrible.
terrible.
Yeah.
And and then I saw this where he'll join the city council. Now, obviously, this vote happened like 3 weeks prior to this,
Hmm.
but I gotta say, I think they're gonna reverse that call.
I doubt
Um,
it.
I
I doubt
think
you can do that.
it's
I,
too
I
much
don't.
heat. It's
I
too
don't
much
even think.
heat.
I don't think you could do that.
I bet you they reverse it because he probably got in there because he did such an amazing job. You just don't get to go and join that just because. Like
Yeah,
he's probably worked really hard his entire career to earn a seat there. But now it's like, dude, like you could be at a job 20 years and be the best employee in the world. They love
yep.
you, but the minute you steal something, all of that goes out the window. They're not going to be like, well, you were
Oh no,
great
you
the
a.
last 15
Oh no, no,
years.
no. You a thief.
You,
You a piece of shit. You
you,
stole
you
from
get
me.
all of it. They don't care if you made them millions of dollars or whatever. The minute you've done something that is grounds for termination, it's a donezo.
It's a done deal. Yeah.
They feel bad, but it's like, damn, bro, like, so I feel like in this situation, they're gonna try to like reverse that. And to ammo, your point, I think you mentioned like, with the gun laws, they need to be more strict
Mhm.
and everything. So we're gonna get into like the political side of things. When we have this Queen Republican here. I didn't like the statement that she made. I felt it was a little I don't know.
What?
It just wasn't appropriate. In my opinion, I was just like, she could have
That's
used another
inappropriate, bro. That's
analogy.
inappropriate. That's
Uh,
inappropriate.
sh-
Bro, there's no that's inappropriate, bro.
she could have used
Inappropriate. No, no, no.
something different.
Hey, no, no,
I
no.
Um,
listen.
We're not doing. We're not doing this.
No, no, hold
What?
up, wait. I don't like to laugh, but
the
yeah,
optic.
this is the logic that you have to deal with when it comes to because people break things down simply. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When
But that's
somebody
not breaking it down, bro. That's
listen,
just disrespectful.
but you gotta hear the logic in it. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? You gotta see it. You gotta see it. They didn't ban planes when they went into towers, right? So the weapon in this instance is the plane. And rather than make a intelligent argument, we just break it down that simple because stupid people. That's what stupid people do, right?
Yeah.
It's an insensitive comment, no doubt. It's an insensitive comment, but
Yeah.
the underlying fact is that it's not about the weapon. It's not about the weapon they use. It's
Yeah.
more about the people, and that's what we got to start emphasizing on. It's the people.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
that's what she stated.
Yeah,
She also stated, she was just basically saying, like, to law-abiding citizens, they shouldn't have
yeah.
to pay because of others. However, what she was saying is the focus
Mhm.
should be on securing the schools, right?
Yeah.
More security in school, armed guards,
Mhm.
being in school. She
But
did say
then,
something about,
you just getting your kids. You just getting your kids ready. That idea is like that prisoner pipeline idea. You know, what I'm saying manifesting itself. Now your kids. Oh yeah, we feel safe, but at the same time, why do we have armed guards in the school? You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be a place of education, right? It's
yes,
supposed to be a
sir.
place of education. So it's two folds, man. It's definitely two big arguments to be placed there. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? This shit is
I don't
crazy.
think, especially when it's younger kids like that, because
Yeah,
there's high schools out there that are like really tough schools because of the environment that they're in
yeah.
and some of the students. So those things are warranted. But when we're talking like elementary and things like that, I think there's a way to do it, but also to be subtle at the same time, right? We want
Mhm.
what I'm saying is like what I mentioned in the last episode when we spoke about this was really like obviously having reinforced doors and things like that. They should all be shut at the same time. No one should be able to get in and out of that school unless they are buzzed in. There should be like a room, right? A security room, tons of cameras around the building. There's people in that room, and their only job is to monitor all these cameras, monitor what's going on, monitor who goes in and out. It could be
Mhm.
done in a discreet way to where they don't need to be walking the halls with with their rifles on their hips.
Yeah.
They can be inside this room like that. And if something goes down this way, okay, the assailant is trying to come in through exit C. All everyone head that way. Everyone is already also too with I was reading the story, like New York Times really broke this down, man. This guy's walking through the hallway trying to bust through classroom doors. There were certain doors that were locked that he couldn't get through. So those kids were fortunate in that situation. But hey, maybe we need to talk about reinforcing these classroom doors. Maybe they stay closed all the time and it's not something that you could busting. There's a lot of ways that they can do it without being invasive, I guess, is the way, or putting putting children's fare even more. There was also something else too, because the number one question, right, is like, how the hell did he even get in the school, right? Let's talk about this, right?
It's a small community, so they all you gotta remember when you live in towns like that, right? Like especially in the South, right? You live in towns like that, everybody
Mhm.
pretty much know everybody. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
no, no, no.
You know
This
what
one
I'm
is
saying?
gonna piss you off, Ammo. This
Yeah.
one's gonna piss you off.
You're
According
not
to
from
the
that
New York
town?
Times, not
Yeah.
according to the New York Times,
Uh-huh.
the doors are all usually locked. He went around the side and he was able to find a door that was propped open because there was a teacher that forgot her cell phone. So what she did is she opened the door and put something there to hold the door open while
What?
she went to go and get her phone. And that's the
Really?
door
Your
that he
phone?
found open, and that's how he got in the building. And
Oh
they said that
my
door was never supposed to be open. Once the kids are inside the school, they lock everything down. Even
Yep.
oh my God.
so
So
I
basically,
was pissed.
a teacher caused all this mess.
Well, no, the assailant, the animal caused the mess,
Yes, it's
but
But
the animal. But
because
who
of
let him in the school?
her actions leaving the door open
So
for
she
her
caused this mess.
phone, I wouldn't. Now, here's the thing. Again, I've seen this at my daughter's school. If someone comes through that door, it shuts, but the teachers have their ID badges that they can put on the keypad
yeah,
thing,
that they
and it
keep on,
unlocks it. Yeah, and it unlocks it. So
yeah.
why isn't that a thing? But my thing is like, damn, I know she gotta feel terrible
He probably
because
gonna get some charges too, man. Yeah.
listen, the parents is gonna go at her too. When I read that, and I was like, how did he even get in there? And they really spoke about that, and I was just like, damn.
Damn, bro.
So I actually have two clips here that I'm gonna share with you guys.
Wow, that's insane, man.
I
But
think
he's not from that town? He is from that town though, right?
he's from. So listen, let me tell you the full. This thing is crazy all over the place, right? He crashes into some ditch. This is what gets me. All schools usually have some sort of safety patrol. So like there's always like one cop unit, something is stationed there,
Always around, yeah.
always around. So he crashes into this ditch, right? From the New York Times. He comes out, he lets off like 20 shots. Like he's shooting at pedestrians on the street, he's shooting at anybody. So even with that alone, and this ditch is right near the school. It's not far from the school. So even with that,
Oh
is
my God.
no one being vigilant. Then they said the police officer that was patrolled at the school did come by and did drive by during that time, but he didn't see the freaking animal. He didn't see him, so he kept going.
Oh
And
my God.
this animal proceeded to go to the school, and obviously he found that door that was open, that was left open by the teacher. And then that's how he got in to do the devil's work
Yeah.
is how I put it. The evil. I don't want to get into it too much like that, but like him, I'm I don't wish death on anybody, bro, but he had to go. And I'm sorry, I wasn't for surrender or not. I'm happy that those cops, they went in there and they handled business, because we talking about 19 kids, man. Like it's ridiculous. But let me get into this clip where we have a parent that was actually there on the scene. It's crazy, man. This shit actually touched my heart, man. Shit crazy.
And all that, we didn't see that, and we're from here to at least a house away, I mean, we heard the shots, we heard, but they're just trying to go back, um, and let's do our job, but their job was to go in and save lives, not wait. They said it was within minutes, and I don't know if you guys were there. The policeman said it was like 35, 45 minutes before, and that was the truth. Even though that's how long, they went to actually what we saw was go in, and God knows how long my little girl or the rest were like that. I honestly think that it could have been, so a lot more could have been prevented if they were prepared. That I didn't see no preparedness at all. I mean, as soon as they heard that gunshot, they should have rushed in. But while I was there, I didn't see nobody rushed in. And that's what the a lot of the parents were arguing with the police. It was, y'all need to go in. Y'all need to go do your jobs. And then their response was, we can't do our job because you guys are interfering. Like, but yeah, there's plenty of the guys there that can be going inside, can go inside and do their job. And I know it's hectic, it was chaos, but still, I believe there should have been more training for something like this. Nobody expects it in a small town, but I promised my little girl on when I saw her at the hospital, and I promised her, her death is not going to be, in vain.
That's yeah. He could barely even form a sentence. Like,
Yeah.
Hold up, I ain't seen nothing, bro. It didn't show nothing.
did you see it, Ammo?
Yeah, I was watching it.
Oh, B, you
No,
got that
mine just
McDonald's
showing this.
Wi-Fi.
It was showing some weird shit, bro. Some of View to the East. Logan kept on going, showing it, bro.
That's it for
Okay,
you.
nah, I watched it.
I ain't
watched
see
it.
nothing, bro. I see
As a
no
matter of
video.
fact, you know what I gotta do? I gotta load a page right now, real quick, just to make sure I'm getting what I'm supposed to be getting. But on my phone, on my camera here, I saw everything.
Yeah,
I ain't
I
see
saw
nothing
it
this
too.
time, bro.
You know, it's funny. That was happening to me too when I was outside. However, I didn't say anything when I paid the first. But when we came back and you guys were talking about it, I was like, all right, cool. As long as they saw it,
Yeah,
it could just be us because we're within the chat room. But as long as
yeah.
the viewers out there are getting it,
As long as they
all
say,
good. Yeah, man. But just and again, Ammo, that's another reason why, aside from the media, man, why the cops, especially that chief, is gonna get all the heat, because you got parents there like, dude, what are y'all doing? Yeah, you literally got parents arguing with police officers for 40 minutes. Like, you need to go inside and do your job. And they're saying, well, we can't do that because you guys are here. And he's saying, well, there's like way more of you guys that's over there that could be in there already. We understand that you guys are like crowd control, essentially. But what about the guys at the building? So again, it's really tough. I understand there's protocols and stuff, but as a parent myself, man, I don't know. I just have to side with them on this one. There's no way for me to look at it. I understand there's logic and everything, but in this moment, I feel like they have their right to be upset. They, I said, for them sitting there and watching this, I wouldn't be surprised if if they dropped a few lawsuits, and not that it'll do anything, but someone got to be held responsible.
no, the lawsuits honestly will make them be responsible and make them figure the shit out next time. It wouldn't be as bad as it is this time.
What's up, Proctor? Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, man, it's fucking terrible, man. And this one right here, again, and I want to get this clip going for us as well while we have some viewers in here to give them some substance. But this lady, she had to interview the little girl that survived the situation. She didn't want to be on camera. She only wanted to do an interview with a woman for obvious reasons. And she basically breaks down what happened on the scene while the shooter was in there. And it's crazy, man. This girl's like 10, 11 years old. And to hear what she witnessed, but let's get into that real quick.
Welcome to our viewers in the United States and all around the world. I'm John Berman in Uvalde, Texas. Breonna Keeler is in Washington this morning. And we do begin this hour with a CNN exclusive, a perspective we have not heard before. An 11-year-old survivor who saw the worst of the carnage and wanted to share her story to help other children. Now, we've been talking to the family of 11-year-old Mia Cirio, who was wounded in the 4th grade classroom. Mia wants the world to know what she saw, what she lived through. But Mia is so scared of men right now because of what happened that she only feels comfortable speaking with women. She also did not want to go on camera. She did agree to speak with my partner, CNN producer Nora Noose. Nora, you were in with Mia and her mother. I want to make clear her mother was there the whole time. What did she tell you?
So 11-year-old Mia Cirio was in that 4th grade classroom that we've heard so much about with Miss Garcia and Miss Morales. She said they were watching Lilo and Stitch because it was the end of the school year. They'd finished their lessons. And she said one of her teachers got an email that there was a shooter in the building and went to the door, and he was right there. and they made eye contact.
The shooter made eye contact with the teacher.
And then he shot out the window in the door. And then Mia says it just happened all so fast. He backed the teacher into the classroom. And he made eye contact with the teacher again, looked her right in the eye, and said, "Good night," and then shot her and killed her.
He said good night before he shot her.
Good night. And then it happened pretty fast after that as well. He started open firing in the classroom. He hit the other teacher, a lot of Mia's friends. At that point, Mia was hit by fragments of the bullets. You could even see them yesterday. I mean, on her back, on her shoulders, the back of her head.
The shooter then, she says, went into the adjoining classroom.
Yeah, so he went through this door to the adjoining classroom, and at that point, Mia could hear screams. She heard a lot more gunfire. And then she said she heard music. She thinks it was the gunman that put it on. He started blasting sad music. And I asked her, like, what was that? Like, what kind of music? What do you mean by that? And she just said, it sounded like "I want people to die" music.
She said she heard music. She said it sounded like "I want people to die" music. What did Mia do then?
So she had a friend next to her that she was pretty sure was already dead and was laying on the ground bleeding out. And she put her hands in her friend's blood and then smeared it, she said, all over her body. She wanted to look like she was dead. She was scared that the gunman was going to come back through that adjoining door back into the classroom, and she wanted to be able to play dead.
She also told you that she called 911.
Yeah, so after she smeared the blood all over her body, she and a friend went and were able to take the phone off of one of the teachers who had already been killed. And they called 911, and they were actually able to make contact with the dispatcher. And they talked to a dispatcher for a little while and told them what was going on inside. And Mia kept telling me that she kept saying, we're in trouble, like, please come, we're in trouble.
One of the interesting things you told me is that Mia said to you that she felt like it all lasted for 3 hours.
Yeah, she was like, oh yeah, I was in there for 3 hours. And her mom said, well, sweetheart, I think it was closer to 1 hour, but I'm sure it felt that way.
And what did Mia think the police were doing during this time?
She said she thought the police just hadn't gotten there yet, that somehow they just weren't there yet. And she said, she'd been pretty stoic up until this point in the interview. And this was actually when she started getting emotional and started crying. She said, I heard the grown-ups later say the police were outside and that they weren't coming in. And she got emotional talking to me about this and said, why didn't they come in? Why didn't they save us? Why? The police were outside? Like, she just couldn't, it was clear in her 11-year-old brain, in my brain, why they wouldn't come in and help and save her.
So again, you spent some time with her and her mother. She's obviously just been through the worst thing, hopefully, that she'll ever go through in her entire life. How did she seem to you? How did she look to you?
Honestly, not great. She seems completely traumatized. Physically, she's mostly okay. She has these bullet fragments all over the back of her shoulders and her back and the back of her head. She said overnight a lot of her hair fell out in just kind of big clumps from where the bullet fragments had hit. So she's bummed about that. But just completely traumatized. And her parents are trying to get her some kind of therapy help. They'll probably have to drive her to San Antonio for that. And so they're actually starting a GoFundMe page to pay specifically for that therapy cost. She said she keeps seeing the bodies on the ground. And so that therapy is going to be really important. So that GoFundMe is on the screen.
She's been through so much. She saw her teacher killed before her eyes. She saw her friends killed before her eyes. I simply can't imagine. And then one other thing you told me that just gives us a sense of her state of mind right now. You have an alarm on your cell phone. Your alarm went off accidentally on your cell phone while you were talking to her. What happened?
I felt so bad. It just was an accident, and she clearly was kind of triggered by that. And her mom said, that's been happening a lot. They were at a car wash yesterday and went to vacuum out the car, and it completely set her off. She's not sleeping right now. She's the whole interview, she brought a blanket with her, and the whole interview, she just was like covering herself in this blanket, and it was hot, but it felt like she just was trying to keep herself covered.
And just to be clear, one last time, she really wanted to talk. I mean, she didn't want to talk to a man, but she wanted to get her story out there. Why?
She kept saying that she wants to try to prevent this from this happening to other kids, that she thought that if she talked to someone, if she did an interview, that maybe people would realize what it was really like to be in a school shooting, and that maybe something would change and other kids wouldn't get hurt. And I kept saying, you don't have to do this. If you don't have to do this interview, like, this is up, you're in charge, this is your decision. But she kept saying, no, I really want to do this.
All right. Nora News, thank you for speaking with her. Thank you for telling us what she said. Please tell the family that we're thinking of them, and we appreciate them reaching out. So thank you.
Before we even get into it, we got a few comments, so I kind of just want to put this out there. That's crazy again, man. You see, when I see a comment like that, Dice, welcome to the show.
Hello, fellas.
Just going through some comments here. Each parent should sue. I absolutely agree with that. Not that it, will bring the kids back, but the parents were armed and ready to go in. That was something else that I heard, that the parents themselves was like, listen, screw this. Let me get my gun and let me go in there and try to get my kids, man. That's true. It took DHS to take down the shooter, and local PD was there from the jump. Again, the optics just look terrible on their part, man. The local PD, man, it just, I guess they were waiting for, that was something else I heard, that they were waiting for the tactical teams. But I'm like, listen, man, it's been like 50 minutes. This dude is still shooting in here. Kids are in there with this person for almost an hour, man. Like, there's no time to wait. Again, I know it's easier said than done, and there's probably, other things, but it shows they don't make it past front row too. Regard politicians with guns, actors with guns. I mean, it's true, man. Let me see. A father was tased for attempting to rescue his child. That's crazy.
That's crazy. I find that very strange.
Ammo, could you imagine? Like you say, screw this, I'm gonna go get my own weapon and go save my child. As you're trying to do that, the cops tase you.
Yo, my man.
I would be tight.
It wouldn't only be me though. You know what I'm saying? It would be me and a couple of dads. You know what I'm saying? Yo, y'all ready? Let's go. You know what I'm saying? It would be that's how I would have did it. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be soloing that shit. I'd be like, yo, listen, if y'all ain't moving, we moving. Y'all ready? And listen, you get out our way. We'll create a distraction for you that way. You go that way. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all ain't moving. You know what I'm saying? Y'all not moving. There's no way. You know what I'm saying? Man, listen. But yeah, I'm listening to that lady. You know what I'm saying? Recant what basically say what the little girl was saying, man. That's just
shit
crazy,
hurts, bro. That shit hurts.
She quick thinking, you know what I'm saying? She ain't get hit too badly. Say, yo, listen, you know what? Play dead. You know what I'm saying? She got that survival instinct in her. You know what I'm saying? She got that survival instinct in her. And you know what I'm saying? The fact that she was able to think quickly on her feet, kudos to her. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully the rest of her life is that was her
She's
test.
not scarred.
Her trial right there. Hopefully, she grows exponentially from this point going forward. You know, there was something else that caught me. Yeah, I didn't have my notepad in front of me to write it down. Something else caught me during that interview. What was it, man? I'll remember in a second, man. But yeah, y'all could take over, man. I'll remember in a second.
My I don't understand, bro, is that she said, bro, she's afraid of men right now. That shit hurts, bro. I mean, this man just scarred this poor little girl. You just scarred her for life, but because you're selfish mindset that you're gonna scar a poor young girl for life. I'm pretty sure this girl is not more than, because everybody that I was in that school, bro, is not more like five, maybe 6, maybe 7 years old. And this is what you do to a little girl, bro. Some monsters, bro, some monsters, bro, should have been killed in the jump, bro. There's someone should have did something in the beginning, bro. But this is horrendous. This is not right. That you could actually do that and not have no care in the world about what you did, bro. You had the nerves to put on sad music. You told the teacher good night. So what you did on purpose, basically. You thought that was basically funny what you did. That what you did, you had a purpose on doing it. Because you shot the window out. You walked into school. The young girl said you shot the window out. You looked the teacher in the eye. You told the teacher good night. And you shot her. Then you walked in and you started shooting kids. You shooting kids, bro. And what I don't understand is how is it that the police officers found time to tase a father trying to walk in to save his own kid? You tase him?
Fear.
Man, you supposed to ask him, you got a gun? How do you think we should go about this? Maybe they can bring you a better way to do it, technical way to do it. Because, bro, this kid's dying in there. You're standing outside. At this point, bro, I don't care how we doing it, bro. Rush in there. And if someone has a gun that's not in the same uniform as me, and you see shooting kids, shoot him.
And you see,
shoot him.
This also goes. This also goes to one of my other points, right? So, police officers, right? I've always had like this strong belief that police officers should be like either not retired military, but like they served in the military and then boom, they come back home. You're a police officer. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody of that extent. I got a funny feeling that these 19 officers that were arrived on scene were either officers that were on desk duty. You know what I'm saying? Guys who just patrolled around and like our traffic agents in New York. I got a feeling that the scope of their responsibilities never really was too high. You feel me? I got a feeling that's what we was dealing with. That's why the 19, because even if you were scared, you know what I'm saying, it is your job. You know what I'm saying? It is your job. So I got a feeling that's what we dealing with, man. I'm curious if they're gonna release those 19 names of those officers, because then we really get to see who was there standing and waiting. Because either half of them quit and went to another state, or because they will be remembered. People got pictures. Those pictures will be released soon. I want to see that.
Please, I need those pictures released soon, because I want to see what kind of men, what kind of women. How do you have the nerve to call yourself a peace officer, a police officer, to protect and serve, and they're telling you children are dying, being shot inside, and you stand there. You listen to your commanding officer tell you, stand down, nigga, what?
I mean, like I said, I understand there's procedures and there's all of this, but to be honest, we needed Die Hard 6. We needed because again, once DHS came and they, obviously they have to follow the lead of the local police. They're the first on the scene. They're in charge of that situation. Mm-hmm. And when they heard the instructions to fall back, not to rush, this is a different kind of situation. After, they did obviously at first wait for a little bit, but after a while they were like, no, we're going to ignore this instruction and go in here and handle business, which they did. And they were able to take them out immediately with no kids were, no more kids were injured or killed in that situation, in that scuffle. So the argument is, I think what the argument is that kids were dying regardless, whether they waited the 40 minutes or not, right? Because when he went in there, obviously the intent was to kill. And at this point, you're already sitting out there 30 minutes and you're still hearing gunfire. What difference is the 15 minutes to the, waiting for tactical this or assuming the situation has de-escalated?
Let me play devil advocate for 1 second. God forbid if they're waiting for tactical and the DHS agents didn't do nothing. And they waited another 40 because tactical's coming from what? San Antonio, maybe San Antonio, somewhere else in Texas, because they're in a little city. So imagine now if they're waiting for tactical and tactical takes over 40 minutes. Imagine what more damage this man could have done while we're waiting for tactical.
I agree, Proctor. I mean, this is what I'm saying. Like, and this is why I love the DHS, because they was just like, man, listen, fuck this procedure that you guys got going on. Kids are dying. Like, I don't think y'all understand the situation and what's going on. And everyone is gonna say there was procedures, but like I said, everyone is throwing the chief under the bus. They're like, yo, that was his call. It was the wrong call. We don't know,
They
what made
throw
him
him under the
do
bus.
that.
I'm not gonna say throw him under the bus. I'm gonna say they told the truth. He did say it. He called it. He looked like a one that would call that shit too. He looked like one.
Oh, you know what I remember? This is what I remember. What that video with the young girl, the interview, right? The 911 call.
Yeah.
That's what caught me. She was able to call 911. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear that.
She got Jesus' phone.
I want to hear that. I want to hear that tape. Because if you're on the phone with 911 and they're hearing the background guns, the like shots being fired, they had to be hearing that too. They had to be hearing it too. You know what I'm saying? There's no way that this person that's on the phone with the dispatcher is not relaying their message to the local law enforcement. You know what I'm saying? I gotta see. That's what I want to. I need that for visualization too, to really get a full scope of the.
We have to take it we have to take and understand. There's a lot of things.
Kilgun was off duty getting a haircut and got his barbershop done. You see what I'm saying? So the more I read stuff like that, the more I see things like that, it makes it worse for the local PD, because it's like, you listen, we could have gotten ammo. You made a really great point with this, where those guys probably look like they played a desk all day. They're not trained, especially it's a very small town. Like I said, you guys said you hope they drop their names. Believe me, the parents know who they are. The people, this is a small town. It's not like they're gonna be like, oh, that's Billy, that's Bob, that's Suzanne, that's boo, 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 boo. Okay, they're gonna be alienated forever. Like, I won't be surprised if they transfer to a whole nother.
That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna transfer up the 100%. They're leaving. They are leaving, bro.
Look it up. He said, "Fuck procedure." I mean, look, man.
The thing is, yo, bro, what kills me is, how do you let kids die and then they allow you to keep your job and remotely even get transferred? What are we talking about a transfer? This is not a student in school who did something bad. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
That makes no sense, bro. Then on top of that, out of all of this, the facts that are coming out are coming from the victims or the people who were inside.
Children, bro. Children.
Bro, this is not. I don't understand how people don't see this as such an alarming thing. The people who are trained are not doing anything. They're not even telling the truth.
We got lying to our faces, bro. And then what makes it even worse, bro? They sit down on cameras and think it's called a lie, and then say this not what really happened. And there's people and there's senators, and like they make it into them. They trying to take it, and they're not telling the truth about what happened, bro. Everyone is trying to cover their ass, bro. And we still cannot justify there was 19 children killed because you stood there and did nothing. You did nothing. You stood outside, bro.
How do you try to cover your ass after 19 kids died? Like,
Word.
Bro,
Word.
What are we trying to... Dude, I would feel like the worst human on a... Bro. I think I would, like, dude, I wouldn't know what to do with myself, bro. I would have to clip somebody. Like, somebody who's doing... I would have to save some... I would have to turn into a superhero, bro. Because if not, then I just personally feel like you don't have no type of like humanity, bro. That's crazy, son.
With
I don't
sex
know.
and parents. Yeah, man. This is there's no. The crazy thing is like that. I forgot, is it the senator or the governor, whatever? He said he was annoyed, he was livid because they gave him the wrong information. At first he came on, he's like, the officers went straight in, they went in and handled business. And then just to come to find out that they was there the whole time, 45, 50 minutes, and and now he has to redact what he said and he's pissed off. And listen, everyone needs to lose their job. Like I said, this guy being voted into union and all of this extra stuff, that's not happening. They're reversing that, just to give reference of what I'm talking about. They're reversing this. This was voted 3 weeks ago prior to the incident. But at the end of the day, man, you make a call like this. My question is, does he have kids? You like, I honestly
no. Let's not do that, because I don't have no kids. I have no kids. And I myself, when I got a shotgun, I would win in there guns ablazing.
Prada has a point. It kind of gets to show you the type of person he is.
Like do you have kids? Because
yeah, I would like to know.
Regardless if you have kids or not, those are babies. We're talking about elementary school. It don't matter. Kids is kids, but we're talking about elementary. Like, my daughter is in elementary school. We're talking about kindergarten to fifth grade. You hearing them screaming. That's just gonna break my heart too much. For you to make a call like that.
The little girl said to make sure the guy didn't kill me, I had to stick my hands in my own friend's blood and put it on myself and play dead. This is a little girl, bro. She cannot be more than 5, 6 years old. She put her hand in her friend's blood. Had to play dead.
She's not 5 or 6. She's like
11.
She's 11.
Yeah, she was 11.
I mean,
still, you know my point.
Educating your kids. Remember, we spoke about this last time. Educating your kids. A child, for her to even process that in the midst of all of this going on, she understood, like, yo, he could come back. Let me play dead. That's some sort of, that had to be trained. She had to have seen that somewhere. She had to have picked that up somewhere. For her to think fast that way, because that was really smart thinking, man. But it's disgusting.
The thing that get me is, I understand her doing, like, you know what I mean, like, you know what I mean, putting her hand in the blood or whatever the case may be, but it's the visual. It's like the visuals being left out. They're dismembered classmates that she's surrounded by. Dude, that's like a fucking nightmare, dogs.
It's like he's in a field, bro.
Even for a grown up, for somebody to get shot next to them, for them to even remotely move, let alone think, to let me cover myself in blood. Dude. Shouts to that little girl. Like you said, she had to pick that up from somewhere. But nonetheless, that is so traumatic.
That's traumatic, bro.
It's dogs. Boy.
It's crazy, man. She's definitely gonna need therapy, man. That's, that was something that they mentioned. All of them are gonna need that.
Somebody need therapy, bro. That's the
not to be funny.
Adults or children, bro. Come on, bro.
Not to be funny,
bro. That's just being realistic, bro.
No. What I was about to say. No, what I was about to say, because you see a lot of movies. You see, what's a reference I can make right now? Right. Let's talk Batman. Right. What happened? He was a young kid, 8 years old, witnessed his parents being murdered in front of him. That psychologically changed him for the rest of his life. That literally shaped him into what he,
to beat up bad people.
But now we're talking about right now, let's put the same perspective. We have all of these small minds. They're traumatized like crazy. Like you got, even if she was able to do what she did to survive, even in that interview we just heard, man, she's still, like, cell phone alarms has her triggered.
She said that the reporter said, someone they tried to clean her car in the car wash.
Yeah,
she had
and
the vacuum cleaner, bro,
man.
And she's triggered by it. She's afraid of men right now because of this. Some asshole decided, some monster decided they're gonna fuck up a kid's head, bro.
Why wasn't he stopped? I just, to be honest, I think they wasn't. Ammo really put out this point. I don't think they were just properly trained because they're a small town. They never expected something like that to happen. I think we've seen enough TV shows and movies to where like you go to a small town and there's like a big villain come in and they're unprepared for it. And, you know, there's always that one person out there that has the super training that has to kind of teach those cops what to do in a situation. I think it was just one of those situations where they were just unprepared, untrained for that, scared out of their minds, not wanting to die themselves. Let's just be honest. You were cowards. There's no way you put on this badge, you have this gun, you know what comes with that. Like, I understand the last 10 years has been peaceful. You never had to really go in like that. You know, you're issuing traffic, you know, but this is a situation where it really matters. This is where you come in. And Ammo made another great point earlier where he was saying, you know, people expect them to be like firefighters. When firefighters see a fire and there's a kid in that building or anyone in that building, they're going in.
They're running in.
They're going in guns blazing. The hose, the suits, they're ready to go in. They're ready to go in and rescue. And firefighters have died doing
trying
this.
to rescue children, bro. Yep.
They know.
Okay. Hey, I don't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, what's
Great
up?
point. That goes into saying that police officers are completely not trained. Is not even a word, but I don't know what. Because that's more than training, dude. Like, I mean, just having humility of fucking hearing kids dying, you gonna jump in action. If any one of us was passing by, trust and believe, I'm gonna be scared. But nonetheless, it's like I'm thinking about them kids. It's hard for me to be scared about myself when I'm thinking about what the fuck they gotta go through when they can't protect themselves. It's like being a man. I don't know how to say it. Dude,
Yeah.
it just goes down to the bones of being a human. What the fuck is going on? How could you see that shit weird? Authority doesn't oversee that for me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Your badge doesn't oversee that for me. Fear doesn't oversee that. It doesn't go over that for me, bro.
My apologies for laughing. I'm just reading the comments. No, it's definitely a comic. I'm not saying, you know, they'll become Bruce Waynes and everything, but what I'm saying is it'll psychologically affect them for the rest of their lives because their minds are so young. Like I'm a grown man and haven't been through something so brutal. And I could only imagine, you know, we was just talking about the Buffalo mass shooting, and we had grown adults saying, you know, they can't get over things. They're dealing with issues. They have to do therapy. So imagine fourth graders, third graders, second graders, first graders. Like, you know, hopefully they get the help that they need, and hopefully, you know, they're not, you know, they're not messed up in a negative way that disrupts their lives, because that's crazy, man. Kids have social media too. Imagine me and that young.
What's my man name? My man named Proctor. Proctor,
Yeah.
he commented that last comment. Each cop would be afraid to be the next Derek Chauvin if they shoot. And see, and that was one of my points earlier. You know, like there's such a disdain for police officers and these days. You know what I'm saying? Because of all of the bad apples. And that's another thing you got to consider too. You know, like a lot of these officers, they like, for example, when I was growing up, the police officers that were in my neighborhood, they looked a certain way, they moved a certain way, and they commanded the respect. I knew when police showed up, they was gonna handle their business. You got to get out the way. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in a very Italian neighborhood. When the police officer came through, you knew his name, you knew what time it was. Get out of his way, bro. Move. Get out of his way. He's doing what he's doing. Now, it's not the same thing because of so much police brutality and police negligence and all these bad apples that's in there. So when even if the police officer does the right thing, there's still a level of scrutiny, and he's being judged, you know what I'm saying, at a standard that's not even, you know what I'm saying, what do you call it? I can't even say fair, because that is the responsibility you took on. You know what I'm saying? And I agree with you on Proctor. Like, yo, listen, yeah, there's an oath. There's an oath that they take. But everyone, you have to remember one thing: police officers can serve their entire career, 25 years, without ever being in a gunfight, without ever drawing their gun from their holsters. When you compare them to firefighters, a firefighter will run into a building at least once in his career, and it might be the worst fire of his entire life. So that's the difference between firefighters and police. Firefighters are actually trained for the trauma. Like they literally get put in those situations in a controlled environment. Police don't get that kind of that kind of training unless you know, like unless you're like FBI or like Homeland Security, where they're constantly running drills. You ever see a city cop, bro? Look at the city cops walking around, overweight. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, too short. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, look at the. I guarantee if you look at these officers, bro, you're gonna be like your dude. You know what I'm saying? And it's another thing that like it frustrates me and it burns me because I've always looked at people and been like, yo, you a police officer? How'd you become a police officer? They'd be like, don't judge a book by its cover. But as you can see, today we arrived at the situation where 19 people, well, I can't even say officers. 19 people were standing outside of a school door, hearing kids get executed, and did not act. Right?
That's a
The narrative.
shame. It's a
That's the
shame.
narrative. That's the narrative we're being fed, right? That's the narrative we're being fed. So if that's the case, what can I tell you? We got to have more stringent hiring policies. You know what I'm saying? We need to
They gotta be
really
trained better. They
drill
gotta
this.
be training. They gotta be
You know what I'm saying?
trained a
But
lot
how do
much
you
better,
train
bro.
small town cops for that thing? That's not. This is not
Look,
something
look,
normal.
look,
No,
look, man.
wait,
This is not the
small
first
town.
school shooting, right? This is because I feel like where the lesson should have already been learned. The upgrade should have already been learned. Listen, you have a great point, Ammo, earlier where you said, police officers should be like ex-military, like, the young
Yeah.
military guys that are coming
Yep.
back in their mid-20s, going into their 30s with some
Mm-hmm.
sort of tactical, some sort of die hard. I say die hard because it's one of my favorite movies, but they have to have that instinct there
Mm-hmm.
because, again, it took a DHS agent that wasn't even on the scene at all at the beginning to go in and do something that, in my opinion, could have been done already. Because I understand it's
It
like,
should have been done. It should have been done for the beginning, bro. Once it was
I
elementary
understand.
school, should have been done, bro.
I understand
Somebody
kids
should
are
have
in
got in and
danger.
did something, bro.
I understand kids are in danger, right? And you don't want to escalate it, right?
Yeah.
Let's just say that was their take. We don't want to go in there and further escalate where more kids could be harmed, right? Let's just say this is the narrative. But as you're sitting there, you're there 10 minutes, 15, 20, and he's still shooting. 25 minutes, 30, 35 minutes.
And you're listening, you're hearing these kids scream.
Still shooting. At
Mhm.
some point, for me, yes, I'm there to protect the kids, but the longer I wait, the higher that body count. Had they reacted in the first 10 minutes, would it have been 19 kids? We'll never know. But what's always going to be said is the fact that you waited is what caused 19 children and 2 adults to be killed. You get what I'm saying? That's always
Yeah.
going to be the narrative, especially when you have the boss of the state saying, hey, that was the wrong call. We don't know why he made that call. That's
Yeah.
not, you get what I'm saying? So we can try and we can do and we can say all the things, but I say they got to be held responsible, man. And it's easy to be like, well, we were following the orders of our chief, and because that does exist, right? You can't disobey, but screw that. Screw
You
it.
should have disobeyed. No, fuck that. You should have disobeyed.
What were you?
Sometimes
what were you afraid of?
Sometimes disobeying actually works in your favor.
In this
Sometimes
case,
the rules don't work,
it would
bro.
have.
Sometimes fuck the rules. Sometimes fuck the rules. Fuck what you gotta say. You telling me don't walk in and they shooting kids? My kid could be in there. I'm not staying still. I'm not even think logically, bro. I'm going through a window. Fuck, he gonna shoot me. If I'm gonna get shot, I'm gonna get shot. But I'm gonna kill. I'm gonna shoot to kill. You gonna shoot me? Yes. I'm gonna take a bullet. Yes. Whatever. At least I know I saved at least 1-2 kids. But y'all just stood the fuck this. Another agency had to walk in and kill somebody because you just sat there.
Nah, man.
Like, come on, man.
I mean, like I said, it's easy for us to sit here and be like, this is what I would have did and this is what I would have done. But honestly and truly, man, I don't know if that's the school right here. My daughter's in that school. I'm getting in there. I just how I see it. I mean, I'll try to get in. Let's put it that way, right? How I see it is the kids are the future. I'm leaving anyway. So if I have an opportunity, if there's a chance that
Fuck
I
it.
can get in there and
Save
help
somebody.
kids, including my own child, to help them see tomorrow, they're next. I'm going anyway.
Yep.
You know, so
I
again,
might still go out a
I'm
hero.
not there. Again, it's always that situation. It's easier said than done. It's always going to be that. What would you have done differently, even if you was there? Would you have really went inside? Would you have really went and did this? Right? There's always going to be that. All that I could say is I'm thankful to that agent that said, "Screw what you guys are doing. Let me go in here and handle this guy," and immediately killed the person. Immediately killed the animal. Just got rid of him. Period. So the argument is always going to be had this person gotten there sooner to do what he did, he would have saved tons of lives. Had someone ignored the call that the chief made and went in, they would have saved tons of lives. That number could have maybe been 10 instead of 19, maybe 8. You get what I'm saying? So there's always going to be that notion there, but I definitely think everyone involved, the local PD, all of them, they got to go. They gotta go. The chief definitely gotta go. He shouldn't be going to no council of nothing. He definitely gotta go. Those officers, if they they were following their chief, maybe reprimanding them is too harsh. But again, they need training. Like, listen, this ain't the desk job. This ain't the local. Hey, Bob, how's it going? Y'all need to be trained. So when someone like this comes back here again, you guys can handle business. There's no hesitation.
And for the fact that knowing the state you're in has the gun laws is not strict, bro, God forbid it can happen again.
And they need to stop training police officers, cops in different, because they're in different tiers, they get different training. So SWAT is trained completely different from just a regular local PD person. Doesn't make sense to me.
PD should have some type of SWAT
It should be
training.
one uniformed training.
No,
it should just be one.
Honestly, you can't train PD like SWAT because there's two different.
Why not?
SWAT only comes off of SWAT activities.
Like this?
Yes.
But that's the problem.
But you can train them in some type of.
But that's the problem.
You can give them some type of training.
No.
Hold on, wait, B.
That's
you
contradicting.
Contradict yourself a little bit, because if you really want the kids to be protected, you should be along with the fact that they should all be trained.
I'm just playing devil. I'm just telling you what they already said.
What they need to do is uniform training across the board. Let me tell you something. You see what Ammo said about the firefighters, right? And how they're mentally trained to put themselves in harm's way. Why is a cop not receiving that training when they carry a gun? Literally, what their jobs is to get in. If there's a crime going on, there's a shootout. The cops have to go and stop that.
Oh no, the cops the cops don't. If there's a shootout, the cops don't have to go and think. The cops need to secure the perimeter so that the SWAT and the task force, the guys who are like special forces, come out and do that.
Trash.
But that's a problem.
That's the problem.
But see, so let me give you a fun fact, right? You know, volunteer firefighters get the same training as the local firefighters, right?
Yep.
The volunteer firefighters
get the same training as
firefighters. Volunteer firefighters.
Hold on.
The volunteer firefighters get the same exact training as the local firefighters in their community, no matter what state it is. So most of the kids that want to be firefighters, they join the volunteer firefighters so that they voluntarily do it. They get the same exact training. When their ticket comes up for the fire department, they're already well trained. Now, when you're a cadet and when you go to what's that for New York City is there's a program that you could go straight from your cadets and you could go into the police academy. During that time, while you're learning this stuff, you're learning the laws, you're learning the procedures and stuff like that. You don't go through that training. You don't go through that vigorous training. You get a physical training where you're able to run a few miles, you're able to pick up bodies and move the bodies. But as far as your marksmanship and stuff like that, or there's a crowd control training. There's riot training, and most of that is just how to disperse crowds, how to keep people back, how to diffuse the tension. It's not, oh, there's an active shooter. Well, let me take him down. Like, bro, man, this place is crazy, man.
So you're telling me as a cop, right?
Yeah.
I'm a police officer, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just a local beat cop. I'm grabbing a coffee.
Yeah.
And I see a person armed walking towards a school. Is it not my duty to just execute him on site? You mean to tell?
Listen, the average police officer will get on his radio
Oh,
and
nah.
call in
Well,
and
yeah,
call
that
in
too.
and call in protection, and he might follow, or he might say, freeze, put your hands up. And if he is one of the real good ones, and my man turns around and makes the wrong move, yeah, he'll drop him. But 9 times out of 10, guess what my man doing? He's peering behind the car, and then he's peeking out, and he's like, "Yo," and he just heightened he just basically escalated the situation. You know what I'm saying? I'm only speaking as far as like the tri-state area. You know what I'm saying? This ain't like in the counties, like when you down in Tennessee or Kentucky, or what I'm saying, West Virginia, stuff like that. That's a different breed of police. You know what I'm saying? Shoot first, ask questions later. You know what I'm saying? There's a big difference. There's a big difference between police officers or sheriffs down there versus up here. You know what I'm saying? It's two different. It's literally two different animals. But like I said, man,
Let me see.
I think, like I said, I've always thought, what I'm saying, military, like some kind of military background, or very specific training for police officers required. Like, it has to be vigorous and intensive, so that when the occasion arises and they have to activate and they have to be that person, they can. You know
Well,
what I'm
can I give you two things with
saying?
that? Right. So
Yeah.
the first thing is, then for all of that, why is the energy different when there's when cops show up on a scene? Whatever, we're not going to even make this a
Yeah.
situation. We've seen cops just pull up on a scene, see a situation, and start busting shots like nobody's business. There's no radioing, there's no calling for backup. They just come out of their vehicle, hands up, guns in the air, and if that
But
criminal
you have
doesn't
to,
comply, they're done. Right. The
but you have to
second thing I
remember.
want to give you is look at the Buffalo mass shooting right inside of Tops. The minute he went in there, right? We're saying that officers, this is the way they're supposed to operate. This was a retired cop doing security at Tops. His first reaction wasn't to radio anything in. He
Nah.
actually tried to kill
Yeah.
the person immediately. The minute he saw the situation, if that person wasn't wearing any body armor, he would have saved all those lives.
Mm-hmm.
Some already died, but he would have saved a ton more lives. So what I'm saying is, I understand there's the oath, I understand there's procedure, I understand it's all of that, but there's also that human component that Dice was talking about. It's that instinct. Like, I have the means to take him down now. If I don't do this, forget me. I'd rather escalate and distract him and have him focus on me than going into this elementary school. I guess that's where I'm sort of going with it. I think it really comes down to the person, to what you were saying a little bit earlier. Yes, there's all of these procedures, but as a human, hey, I can't wait for backup.
Yep.
This is a now situation. Me sitting there waiting for SWAT and tactical and backup. Boom, he's already in the school doing the bullshit that he's doing, and I'm just out here just radioing it. Why do I have a gun on me? What is the gun for? You understand what I'm saying? What is it for? Give me a baton and some tasers. That's for a traffic cop. What you're saying here, I understand you, but I would expect that from the traffic cop that's given a ticket, sees the situation, is like, oh, whoa, let me call in the people. The traffic cop don't have no weapons.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm a cop and I see a situation, I'm acting. Just like that Buffalo security guard in Tops acted. There's no time for this is what I'm saying. I definitely agree with you. There's definitely no slack, because what you're saying is factual. But it's like, that needs to change, because I see cops have more energy for less.
Yep. Exactly.
when
When
it
they,
really matters,
yep,
where's all the energy at?
yeah.
You're not even making this a race thing. This is just you guys have more energy for a lot more different things. Y'all go
Yep.
in, guns blazing, 30, 40 deep. You don't care what type of shootout you're about to engage in. You just are ready for action. But for you as police officers to listen there and listen to children scream and cry, and these kids called 911 more than once. We're saying they called 911, but it was more than one time, man.
And 911 is standing outside the building looking at the kid calling 911 too.
Yeah, this is
What? What? What is
Oh,
what coming
Proctor,
to, bro?
to address, I noticed you said how he got into the school. So basically, a teacher, she had forgotten her cell phone, so she went through a door and propped it open with something, so that way she can hold the door open for herself. And usually that door is locked. It's supposed to be locked once all students are inside the school. So he went around and then he found that it was propped open, and that's how he got into the school. So it's that's another thing too. I know that teacher is boy, that's a small town, so they egg in her house, they at her, she's gonna take some of the heat for it, even if it was
Some of the heat,
but
some of the heat.
they're gonna say it's partly her fault.
It is partly her fault. The door wasn't open when he came on the school.
I mean, it wasn't her intention, she didn't
bro,
know. I don't want to say it was
it's not her intention, but it's still her fault.
Well, that's hard to say. I don't know. I got mixed feelings because you can't blame somebody for something that they didn't know. Compared to the police, they knew. So that's a totally different situation.
Yeah. That shit crazy.
That shit not right, bro. That shit not right at all.
I ain't gonna lie. I don't want to suffocate myself with it because it's a fucked up idea. I don't even want.
And then, my man, he made a comment about why it says, why do we not have armed guards at school? They are at banks with politicians. Kids shouldn't be at the bottom of that pole. So, we actually talked about that at the very beginning, right? So it's twofold, right? It's supposed to be a learning environment, right? Number one, I don't think you need firearms in the school. I don't think you need firearms in school.
Stop right there, Ammo. Now stop right there.
Hold on. You gotta let me finish. You gotta let me finish.
I'm gonna let you finish.
You don't need firearms inside the school. What you need is a perimeter outside that's established outside the school, so that when somebody approaches the school, you're already able to encounter that person before they get into the school. The problem is that all these schools, as large as they are, why you only got 3 school aides or the 3 security guards for the school? You know what I'm saying? Like, it shouldn't be that. There should be a constant patrol around the school throughout the day. So, like on a military base. You see how the military base is? If you jump the fence at Fort Benning, you know what I'm saying? Within a minute, you will be encountered. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Any base you go to in the United States, if you get past the front guard, believe me, you will encounter another guard within a minute, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Can I say this to you, Ammo? And it's hilarious. You ever go to a supermarket and you know there's an armed guard in there? In my supermarket, there's a armed guard. Like,
listen, the supermarket I go to, I know the person that's the armed guard, but he doesn't look like one. He looks like a regular shopper. He looks like a regular shopper. That we could put in the school.
I'm just saying the level of security. I'm just saying the supermarket has more security in terms of interior.
Why do you need an armed guard at the supermarket?
That's the other question.
Groceries. You just buying groceries, bro.
See, that used to be a question, but after Tops.
Yeah, but still, man, that's what I'm saying.
Like, nowhere is safe.
And so,
but one thing about it though, how come? Why is there armed guards in New York City schools, but not in other schools, like the schools of other cities and states?
Budget.
It's not budget.
It's not budget because New York City schools they kept the most budget for the most stupid things ever. Yeah. Kids don't even have new books, new seats, new proper equipment for schools. But it can't be budget for New York because New York If you
It's
go to
not
New York
but
schools right now, bro, they got metal detectors, they got
yeah,
armed security guards, they got armed NYPD agents, bro. School
you
safety
gotta
agents, bro.
remember,
They
right?
armed.
So in 19, what was it, 92, 93, right? The high school, the violence in high schools in New York City were at a point where they was just like, yo, listen, cats was bringing knives to school. You know what I'm saying? Like, if y'all ever you remember the Sonny Carson, what was that movie? The Miseducation of Sonny Carson, that movie. Remember when the Jets was fighting the what you call it? What was the name of the game? It escalated. That's what was happening in schools, and that's why they brought in the armed guards, they brought in the metal detectors and stuff like that, because it was getting real. The gangs was taking over New York City, and then they curbed that by doing the metal detectors and the armed guards and stuff like that. That's why New York City got it. It wasn't because we was having mass shootings and nothing like that. It's because it was like literally gang fights. It was gang fights happening in
Yo,
school.
Proctor, real quick for Proctor,
Yeah.
I'm reading because I'm being educated on the laws of Texas, right? All right, so he says, but you can't open shot unless a firearm is raised and aimed.
Yeah,
So Proctor, to
yeah.
that point though, remember before he even got inside the school, he crashed into a ditch nearby the school and started shooting at like people walking in the street,
pedestrians,
pedestrians just shooting. So that's the before he even got to the school, before he even
No,
did
no,
all
no,
of
no,
that.
no, 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 wait. Y'all go first by face. They were already looking for him because he shot his grandmother in the face.
Well, yeah, this is what I'm saying.
So
I'm just saying that in terms of like what Proctor's writing.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying from what he's saying. I'm like, believe me, he already raised that gun before he even got into school. So
he raised the gun ever since he shot his grandmother in the face. There was a bolt off for him, bro.
He said crashed twice on the way to school. That's what I'm saying. When you start getting the facts and you start realizing what was happening, then you're like,
this was intentional. He had this plan.
Okay.
He knew what he was doing, bro. He knew exactly what he was doing.
Ammo, I agree with you completely, bro. I think I think Dice, I think we were here last time when we said the same thing. Like, as far as it's an elementary school, so they already were traumatized by all of this. So the last thing they need to see is like the men in black walking down the hallway is strapped with armor. That's the last thing they need to see. However, the exterior defense needs to be impeccable. This means upgraded cameras, someone in a security room monitoring these cameras at all times. Like, hey, the suspicious activity going on the north wing, blah blah blah. To have people go in the dress. Obviously, if they don't have reinforced doors, they need doors that require teachers to have key fobs to get back in, because that does exist. So that way, a teacher doesn't have to prop a door open to go get her cell phone.
Yeah, but I don't want to hear that. One thing I know, bro, here's how they're not gonna do this, because I can see it's happening again, because they're gonna say something about budget. They're gonna go and say the budget. They're gonna do some budget bullshit.
That's a one-time expense, opposed to like paying people to
They're
do a
not
job. All right, look at it this way: when you go to a supermarket, you don't notice now they have so many more do-it-yourself, like self.
Yes.
Like where you literally scan your eye, and they start that service at like 8 p.m., 9 p.m. This is a way to sort of like cut down on the cashiers and things like that, or the shifts that they have, right? They're gonna look for ways to make everything more convenient, make everything more efficient. It may be a bigger cost up front. However, it's less of a cost down the line, where we've already paid for the cameras. We've already paid for this. It's a one-time expense. Opposed to having guards.
I would appreciate it to see that happen in every school nationwide.
No, it has to. Oh no, it has to. We got billions of dollars to send to other countries, and
I'm not saying, I'm not saying elementary school. I'm not saying elementary schools. I'm saying in high school, elementary school, public school, daycares, it needs to be everywhere. Yeah, because these kids are our future. We need to have them protected, bro. I don't care how vagabondish these high school kids are, how bad they are on the bus, how they act like animals. They still need to be protected as well.
I'm not saying they don't need to be protected. I'm not saying that at all. You know what I'm saying? It's like what happened after 9/11, right? You got an air marshal on every plane now, and you don't even realize there's a man on the plane that's carrying. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have that eye, like you walk on a plane, you don't know how to spot them. Like since 9/11, that's what's been going on. Like there's armed personnel in places where, because of something happening. This is a country that's reactive. We're not a preventative country. We don't do nothing to prevent nothing. We react as it happens. It's always been that way. It's going to remain that way simply because that's the infrastructure we got set up. You know what I'm saying? You can't pull
I don't see
funds.
action happening because I see a lot of arguing. I see.
There's going to be action. There's definitely going to be action, but guess where the action is going to happen? It's going to happen in all of the major cities. California is going to happen in New York.
That's not how it's supposed to happen. It needs to happen all 50
but you got to remember, everywhere is not a
small cities.
Everywhere is not a big city. Everywhere is not a big city. Small towns,
bro.
You got to remember, they don't have that infrastructure. They don't have that infrastructure.
They can have it. Why not?
Why
not?
It's Uvalde.
It's 15,000. Yeah, it's like 15,000 people there. So,
you know what I'm saying?
They're not gonna have
you know where they get their money from?
Where do you think they're gonna strike first? And what do you think these people are gonna strike first? These people that are looking to eliminate certain people, where are they gonna go first? They're not gonna go for the big city. They're not gonna go for New York City. They're gonna go They're gonna go in Buffalo. They're gonna go Uvalde. They're gonna go They're gonna go in little states like Austin. They're gonna go someplace like They're gonna go in little places. They're not gonna go in the big places because they know if they go to the big places, it's gonna be the body bag.
It's gonna be a much more difficult task, but they'll still be able to do some damage.
But if you go to a little state, a little country, a little town, a little county, it's so easy.
And like my man said, he said throwing money don't fix nothing. It don't fix nothing. You literally have to dismantle it and put it back to together. Money don't solve the issue. It's an infrastructure thing. It's an infrastructure thing. No, you have to change the public's opinion of police of the police, the people that's supposed to protect and serve. You have to change the public opinion of their politicians. People need to be more involved. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that need to happen in order for it to think. Number one, like I said, we know what we would have done in that situation. You know what I'm saying? Personally, we know what we would have done. You know, because it wouldn't have been unless we standing here watching. It wouldn't have been that kind of situation.
Especially in Texas,
it wouldn't have been that kind of situation. But
in Texas, bro, you were allowed to carry, bro. You have M16s. You have automatic shotguns at your house, bro.
Yeah, but
I have my kids get shot up.
But these were regular. I'm sure the parents that were there is probably all the mothers, the dads were probably. You know what I'm saying? There's a couple of dads. Like I said, I ain't see a picture of the crowd yet. If I want to see the full.
I'm pretty sure the mothers have guns too, because I dated a chick from Texas, bro.
Yeah. I'm sure she probably did.
She had a gun in her purse.
She probably did, but you know what I'm saying? She probably left that person at home. She probably left that person at home because I guarantee you, if 15 parents showed up and they were all carrying and they saw them cops standing and they walked together with their shit drawn, what the cops would have did? They would have got out the way. They got no choice but to get out the way.
I doubt it.
Get out the way. Either they're gonna react or you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, go handle business.
To bring up this the politician, like I like to call her, one of the things she said that I didn't agree with was which didn't make sense, right? Because she was saying, the schools need to be.
One thing she said?
No, the schools. She said, hold on. So she said the schools need to be better protected. They need to be better security, better things. It's not necessarily, like you said, with armed forces inside, just exterior. Everything needs to be reinforced. But then she was also like, we also need to teach our teachers how to also stay alive and defend our kids. For me, that was a little strange for me because I'm like, what does that mean? So teachers have to go through like some sort of military training? Like, what does that mean? Teachers have to carry now? Is there you get what I'm saying? Like, I didn't understand what she meant on that take.
So,
like, a few years back, hold on, wait. A few years back, I remember before Corona, I remember that was brought up. I forgot what state brought it up, but they were trying to give teachers guns.
Come on now.
I remember that. I was before Corona. I heard that somewhere before. They were trying to give teachers guns, bro.
Nah.
So here's the interesting thing about that comment, right? That she said where the teachers need to be. When you drop your children at school, right? Like when you drop your kid at kindergarten, when we used to drop them off, who's the first line of defense for your children?
I am.
No. You left your kid with the school.
Oh no.
Who's the first
Oh,
line of
let me speak
defense?
for myself. The reason why I said I am is
No,
because
you are. But if you're the responsibility of taking care of your child, you just drop them off at a school.
yeah.
So your trust is in that facility that you're dropping the thing. A lot of parents, I've noticed that a lot of parents, when they drop their kids off at the school, don't even know how many exits are in the school, how many floors, who the teachers are, who the security
This is
guards
why
are.
I say
You know what
I
I'm saying?
am,
Yeah.
because when I
So
drop my daughter off, I don't even leave right away. Like I'll see, and this is no slight to other parents. It is what it is.
no.
But
I'm with you on that.
other parents, they'll drop off their kids. All the kids, they get in their line for their class to go in. Bro, it's like literally me and maybe a few parents that will not leave the school premises, even prior to the shootings and everything like that. This is just me on a daily. I will not leave the school premises until I see her class and her body go inside of the doors. Once she is inside of that building, that's where we forward to what you're saying. But I definitely, the school's right there. I've walked around the block. I know all the exits. I see.
One second.
So Proctor said, once you leave your kids at the school, they swear to protect your child. I don't think that's in their contract, bro. I don't think that's in their contract.
I don't think they care about that much.
That's not in their contract. You ever read the teachers union contract? Where does it say? Where does it say I gotta give my life for the children, bro? Where does it say that?
Yeah, it doesn't say that.
That's
my wife's contract doesn't say that.
No, but some of them don't like the children at all.
You're putting your faith in the school when you leave your child there. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is that most parents, when they drop their kids off at school, they do it like not regretfully. There's a word I'm looking for. Like they do it hesitantly. You know what I'm saying? Because it's either their only option or it's an option that seems feasible. You know what I'm saying? Because I got to go to work, but my kid's going to go to school so he can learn. You know what I'm saying? So like you can't just drop the responsibility on the teacher, because who's in charge of the teachers? The principal, right? And where's the principal at normally? In the front of the school greeting the parents, and then when the principal after greet the parents and all the kids in the school, where the principal go? To their office.
Back in the office.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Like, you call him black shirt. It's so funny.
Yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man, I'm telling you, man, parents need to really be involved in their children's schools, especially at a younger age. Once your kid gets to high school, all right, that's a different animal. You know what I'm saying? Once your kid gets to the high school, at that point, your kid has some kind of mental fortitude and knows what to do in the event of an emergency at that level. But at the level they at right there, where they was at elementary school, yeah, you assume it's the teacher's responsibility to protect your children. You assume it's the school safety guard's responsibility to protect your children. You know what I'm saying? But that's not really the case.
It's nasty, man. It's disgusting. It's nasty, and and just speaking on this, I mean, we had other topics, but right now, just irrelevant to what's going on right now. We'll get into that next week, but yeah, man. What are y'all final thoughts on this situation? Because to be honest, I think we're all saying the right things. And I think, we all want what's best. But we also have to be realistic, and we have to really focus on what's doable, what's actually going to help. And, reading the comments, even listening to you guys, money is not going to really do it. For all the money that we've thrown everywhere in all these other places, we still have our issues as well. So I think it's just really, again, reinforcing these schools' exteriors to ensure that they're able to identify threats 20, 30, 40, 50 feet away from the building itself, to be able to see it coming. Even if they see something is coming, they're able to, get on the speakers. Lock the classroom doors. That's the other thing too, man. They're gonna have to think about reinforcing these classroom doors and doing things like that in case the assailant does get in, man. Maybe that's another deterrent too, because kids actually survived because he couldn't get into certain classrooms. So, it sucks, but I don't think putting armed guards inside is going to help. Not those kids. It's already traumatizing, man. And you know, and my final thought with this is it's really, we spoke about this last week, educating our kids and teaching them. And I get a lot of flack sometimes for exposing my daughter to some things that they may say is too much for her at her age. But I'm like, listen, man, this world is not what you guys. You know, I need my daughter to react the way this young lady did, to see the situation and let me put blood all over myself and play dead. Like, that's thinking beyond for a 10-year-old to process like that in the midst of all of that. You know, that saved her life. You understand what I'm saying? Like, she watched a majority of her class die in front of her, including 2 teachers. So it's just, I mean, you can never prepare your child for something like that, but it's just educating your kids the best way that you can. Again, being actively involved in your children's life, in their school, seeing what the situation, go to these goddamn parent teacher meetings, see what they're going about. Especially with all of this, I already got a memo from her school regarding the shooting and, you know, what they're doing to put preventative measures and things like that. So, you know, this is not the first shooting, man. So this is some bullshit. We as a country, we got all this energy and all this time for everything outside of the country, but we need to start looking at home, man, because it's unacceptable.
Honestly, bro, I see issue, bro, is to actually invest in our schools, invest in our kids, like do something better, bro. Because I remember back in after Sandy Hook, a couple of states decided they want to try to give teachers guns, and that wasn't the answer. Giving teachers guns ain't the answer, bro. Maybe better gun control, maybe that can help. Better laws for guns, better ways. Come on, so we got to do better. We out here giving all these countries billions and billions of dollars, but we're not taking care of home. Poverty is getting bigger. People are hungry. Things are getting difficult. Rent is expensive. Bills expensive, bro. But we give all these countries money, bro, and shit's getting harder. Bro, there's no, bro. We at the point, bro, where shit's getting. We near the I'm not gonna say we near depression. We're really in a depression, bro. We're going through depression. It could be a great depression real soon. Gas is expensive. Everything's expensive, and we're giving all these money up, but we're not investing in the schools, bro. Schools are being defunded more and more and more and more, and just to give money out to to other places, bro. Like it's out of control, bro. It's out of control.
Nice.
I mean, all I gotta say is we need to be more preventive and less reactive.
Yep.
That's
it. Yo, that it was short but said so much. It was like, yo, that you opened up another conversation. I'm trying to like not even get into that. But yeah, the preventative thing is crazy because we've already been through it. So we should have already
Too many
reacted.
times.
Yeah, so
too many times. There's nothing really happening, bro. It's like it's keep happening over and it's gonna continue happening because they're saying this country right now. We had the state where people's mindsets are not right after Corona be locking out so long. So this can happen again. And they're not fixing it before it happens again. They're saying it can happen again. They said they knew about this happening, bro. They seen it was gonna happen, but they're not doing nothing about it, bro.
Proctor, I'm sorry, I'm now seeing these comments. It's true though. You could sue if like harm comes to your child. It's true because I almost sued another school. I wanted to.
Much love, Proctor. Much love.
But yeah, gentlemen, listen, I appreciate y'all having this conversation with me tonight, man. I know it's late. We started late. My apologies. But yeah, man, listen, everyone watching, man, what can we do better, man? Do you feel like, you know, that chief is responsible? Do you feel the teacher that left the door open, which, you know, caused them to get in the building, do you feel she's partly responsible? Should the parents sue? Should they take action? You know, just leave some comments, man, some feedback, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, man. But again, our condolences out to those kids, man. That shit is crazy, man. My wife's a teacher, so you know she has to do drills and trainings with her students. It's crazy, man. But with that, I leave you guys. Catch you guys next week.
Yes. Yep.
All right, man. Peace. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in.
No, not bomb back last rampant. You know me, I murder